Hi, my name is Luke Secora. I'm the founder and president of Ark Roofer out here in Georgetown, Texas. We started this company back in late 2018. Our first job was actually ran January of 2019, so we spent a couple months getting all the paperwork ready, getting all the files prepared, the structure and all of that, and started our pipeline behind the scenes. So I grew up in the Leander, Cedar Park, Texas area. My father was a painting and remodeling contractor, second generation. And he worked for his dad when he was a kid as well. So I kind of fell into that. So about 11, 12 years old, I would start working for my dad, being his assistant. Later on, growing up, getting more involved, being actual part of his crew, which was just me and him. So we would paint houses together, help people make decisions, do a lot of the work together. And it was just a great experience getting to learn what it's like to use your hands and actually be that labor force, doing the actual work and taking a lot of pride in it. Yeah, I'd say one big word that stands out to me is integrity. You hear about all these stories where, you pay a bunch of money up front, you never see them again, or, you turn your back and you come home and you've got all this mess, that there's no cleanup or just a sloppy job. And one thing I really learned was putting your money where your mouth is, doing what you say you're going to do, being honest and transparent up front, letting people know what to expect, and just taking pride in your work, showing people that you really, really care and you're really invested in what they want. So that was probably the biggest things for me when I worked for my dad. I would actually take gigs on the weekends. In my early 20s, late teens, started trying to get my own painting jobs and stuff like that. And that lasted several years, and until I would say into my 30s, I finally started getting into roofing. I had an old friend of mine that got me a roofing sales job. Just wanted to try it out and see what it was like. Get into something else other than painting in the inside of the house and take it on the outside of the house. It's something my dad never did. And so I wanted to just kind of venture out and see what it was like on the exterior of the home. So got into sales doing that and realized how passionate I was and how much I loved climbing on people's roofs and taking care of the things that actually protected their home the most. So that's kind of how I got into it, and just went from there. I worked for a couple other roofing companies. First one as a sales consultant. Didn't really align with the culture there. Their values and their principles weren't as ethical as I would have liked to see. And so I didn't last a long time there. I'd say less than a year. So then I went and left and worked for a smaller roofing company out of Cedar Park, Texas. And I started more of a sales consultant, but I also had an executive role being the CEO of that smaller company, and really helped to scale that company and grow it a little larger in a short period of time. I would say less than a year as well. Again, the owner, I just didn't align well with as much there either. And so, everywhere I looked and searched, I just kept finding, not the greatest reputation in the industry that I was interested in. And so I wanted to recreate a new standard and a new set of integrity for this roofing and construction industry. And I just couldn't find it anywhere else to support somebody else's company because they didn't have that yet. So I decided to just take a leap of faith, and in 2018 created my name, started getting my logos together, started creating a vision and a plan to execute in early 2019. And so I was just really proud of what we've done and how far we've come since then. Yeah, so Ark Roofer, and the main name out of that is Ark, A-R-K, which means it's the Ark, the boat from the story of Noah in the Bible. And, obviously that was the strongest roof in the world at that time during the flood. And just the trial and tribulations that Noah went through, and what he had to go through to get where God led him. So the story of Noah and the ark kind of resembled with me of, putting the best roof on your house to protect you from the storm. And that kind of started to turn into our slogan, is here to protect you from the storm, which has a metaphorical and a literal meaning behind it. But the main reason why I chose a biblical story to come up with that name is mostly for selfish reasoning. I have a spiritual roller coaster myself with my faith sometimes, and I have my ups and my downs, and going to work every day where you pull in the office and you see a name like that, more so holds me accountable. If I'm not at my ultimate high with God, or feeling the best, and I'm at a little bit of a low or whatever, when I go to work and I see that name, it kind of reminds me of who I'm called to be and what my true purpose here on earth is. And so it kind of snaps me back into place so that I can be that leader and have that vision that everybody needs. My purpose is showing people that not everybody in this industry is a crook. Not everybody is sleazy. Not everybody just cares about themselves. To show people that I can actually be a servant, which is what God calls me to be, is to serve other people for His glory. And to do that selflessly, it gives me an opportunity to actually show people that I want to give them what they want and what they need over expecting anything for myself. And I feel like that type of purpose brings so much joy and so much back to me and to the company through that journey with the client. And I really, really think it's a win-win-win situation in all directions. And so that would be my main purpose. It all started in my first house that I bought with my wife. I had a brand new wife, a brand new baby on the way. Just bought a brand new house back in 2017, and the next year started incorporating Ark Roofer, and that was in the works. Set up a 10 by 12 office room in my smaller house, and that's where it all started. Started filling up my garage with some stuff, with some shingle supplies, with some flashings, little stuff like that, getting all the pamphlets ready, all the paperwork, getting everything with logos on it so I can present that professionally to homeowners. And shortly after, within a year, I had one or two other people working in that same office within my home. And so, it was pretty interesting with a brand new baby. And then later on, 15 months later, another baby on the way. So we had my wife and we had a new baby crying all the time, hungry and needing to change diapers. And we had a couple people in my office working, trying to take phone calls with all this stuff in the background. And it was surreal. I mean, it was pretty crazy. It was fun. It was really passionate. And that's kind of how it all started. But for the first 3 years, that's probably the most challenging time in my life. And for those of you who have heard some of my testimony from other aspects of my life, you'll know that when I say these first 3 years with Ark were some of the toughest times in my life, that'll make your eyes lift up a little bit and realize that it must have been pretty challenging. So, working 110, 120 hours a week myself, from sun up to 1, 2 in the morning, 6, 7 days a week. It was very challenging. We started with Cynthia, who is in our office today still. She was invoicing, she was building orders, scheduling with homeowners. And then later on, we had Jason Heron come in which he is still with us today. He was helping with some of the sales. He was doing some of the other stuff around that we needed him to do. And then we started having a couple of subcontractors, salespeople that were trying to come in and help from time to time. And, I was the main salesperson at the time, running around, and at night, after hours, that's when I would do all the paperwork and all the stuff on the computer. And you know, literally I've worn every single hat. I think Cynthia's worn every single hat almost. I think Jason's wore almost every single hat almost. And so it was kind of that trio with one or two good sales guys that kind of helped create that culture and that environment, and that structure of kind of how we started to form a foundation for Ark Roofer. The last year, which was almost 2 years ago, and we had, I think, 5 computers set up in a 10 by 12 little office space. It was filled, every single computer was filled with somebody. Not to mention, we had salespeople coming by to drop off checks and pick up samples. We had roofers and painters coming by to get paid every Friday. Sometimes they'd come randomly with a big truck and trailer parked in front of my house, trying to pick up some extra shingles or drop off some leftover materials from another job. So that's when I started getting letters from the HOA, basically telling me, giving me warnings, letting me know that, hey, we see a lot of activity and we're giving you some warnings. We're about to have to either kick you out of the neighborhood or something. And of course, my response was kind of funny, but you know, I kind of held it for as long as I could by saying, you know, well, that car is my nanny, that car is my maid, that car is my wife's friend, that other car is my friend, and you know, you can't say that these cars can't be there. And you know, we tried that method for as long as we could, and it was kind of funny, but we knew that eventually we would eventually get ran out of that neighborhood because of just how much growth that we've had. So we finally had to end up finding a place. Yeah, so I think in 2022, middle of the year, June, July, something like that, that's when we actually transitioned from my house to an actual office, an actual commercial property. Yeah, we filled that place pretty quick. You know, what they say is you build it, they will come. You put a, you know, fish in a bigger fish bowl, he's going to grow. And that really did happen there. And we were just very blessed. You know, we did have a couple of decent storms that came as soon as we transitioned, kind of helped us maintain a steady workflow. And, you know, not soon after, within a year or so, you know, we've got, you know, a dozen sales consultants. We've got, you know, a handful of extra other employees in-house that help with all the operations and the invoicing and the, you know, building orders and all of that fun stuff. And so it's just continued to grow. And we've also almost kind of been formed almost like a recruiting division as well, because you know, it's so hard to find good talent and people with a good heart, and that's what we're trying to focus on now, is constantly interviewing people that matches our culture and has a good heart, so that we can bring them in at the right time. So that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's been working really well. Right in the smack middle of Highway 29 in Georgetown, Texas, probably the busiest and most construction road in the state, at least. It's 4 minutes from my old house, which is also about 4 to 5 minutes from my new house. I didn't move too far from there, but we actually found that place. There was a for sale / for lease sign on there, and it was, we weren't quite ready for that big of a space yet, so it was very tough committing to something of that size. You know, it was a 2.5 acre lot with a big building on there, and you know, I took the leap of faith again, and I knew that if I go in there, we'll eventually be able to fill it. And so that's kind of what happened. I just had that gut feeling that that was the right place. It was convenient for me. It was in a great location, right on the main highway. And it was something that I could just barely afford as a lease. And so kind of that's how it started. And I just kind of got lucky finding it at the right time. The production side is the core of our business. We've got You know, we've got 2 people in-house that are production. So they order the materials, scheduling everything. You know, if there's 1 day of rain, now we've got to contact, you know, 20 plus clients to let them know the schedule is shifting. We got to let all the workers know, the roofers, the painters, the carpenters, the gutter crews. So there's a lot of constant communication and changes that are constantly evolving and happening within production that just those 2 people handle. Then we've got 2 other people that are the quality control crews. They go and they're walking through after the homes are finished or the roofs are finished. They're doing a secondary cleanup. They're getting in the attics, making sure the gas pipes are connected properly so that there's no poisonous leaks in there for any liability for the homeowner and to keep them safe. They're taking documented pictures of the roof and the installs of whatever work we do to make sure that it was done per Ark standard and there was no corners cut. You know, and if there is something that we did wrong or that we didn't do the best way, we also document that and we show the homeowner those documented photos to keep it fully transparent. Sometimes there's a punch list. We let the homeowner know that we've got to come back, or let the client know that we've got to come back and fix a couple things or redo a couple things. It's construction, stuff like that always happens, but just to be honest and transparent and have that integrity to not stop until it's completed fully to not only our satisfaction, but the client's satisfaction. We also have a construction manager who kind of oversees that whole production and that whole operations division as well to keep everybody aligned and make sure that everybody's on the same page, moving in the same direction with the same set of standards. And, you know, if there's something that he needs to do, he'll go and make trips to the properties himself and make sure that the communication is on point for everybody. So that whole division, man, it's been rocking and rolling, and been really excited to see the growth of what that's happening right now. Actually, I'd say most of the people that we have here have never been in construction. A lot of our sales force have never even been in sales. The reason why I hired most of the people that work for us, except for a few of the executives here at Ark Roofer, is because of their character and their heart. People that I know that also have a serving attitude, that know they want to work for a place that does the right thing. They also understand that roofing industry, solar industry, you know, has a horrible reputation for many, many years. And it's very hard to jump into an industry like that if you have good intentions and good integrity and you have those characteristics that are something to be proud of. It's hard to find that in this industry. And so those people were longing for something like that. And I could see it and I can feel it. And so that's really what we hire, is we hire the right heart first, because skill set, honestly, if you let me teach you the skills required, that's the easy part. So, and it's created a really great culture, and it's consistent. We don't have to let go of many people, not a lot of turnover. We hire very strategically, and we're very, very strict on who we let be a part of Ark Roofer and the culture here. One of the executives, Josh, and some of you get the pleasure of meeting him, he was actually initially hired as the Chief Operations Officer to come in and help develop a better system for the operations side of things so that things ran more consistently and smoother for a better experience for the client. He did a really great job, and he came in swinging full swing, and not long after, I would say within a year to year and a half, the toughest position for me to let go was the CEO position. And being a chief executive officer for the company is the top role within most companies and holds a lot of the responsibility and liability. And so for me, that was the toughest position to let go. Again, I had to take that leap of faith and empower Josh with that opportunity to alleviate that position off my plate. And I think that was the best decision that I made, was actually letting go so that we could grow and we could start to scale. And once that happened, man, we just became a powerhouse team, and we started creating, empowering people from within mostly to take control of different departments and different divisions within the company. We even brought our marketing, a lot of our marketing in-house. We even have a director of marketing right now and a whole marketing division in-house with Ark Roofer, alongside our operations, alongside our invoicing. We have a supplementing division as well that deals with the insurance side of things. We do a lot of insurance restoration work here in the North Austin, Texas area. And so we've got all of these different divisions within Ark Roofer, and they're all led by one executive person that we've trusted and empowered to do the right thing and to make sure that everybody within that division has the same mindset and is on the same page. And of course, we do roundtables with all of our leadership executive team at least once a month to make sure that the entire company is always aligned, so that when we break down each department, we know that we can count on those people to keep the same vision. A while ago, I started, realizing how fast we were getting all these Google reviews. I think we have more Google reviews, 5-star reviews, than any of our competitors now. And we grew that really, really fast. That was a pretty cool accomplishment. Not a lot of people think about that, but me being on the nerdy side as well, love building websites and being on that side of things as well, with doing my own marketing even when I wore all the hats. That was a pretty proud moment, just seeing how fast we were publicly growing in the public's eyes, and seeing how much support that we got. That was probably one of the most proudest things, is seeing how fast we got so much support from so many different communities around the area. And I think that speaks volumes about how proud we are as well. And that's probably one of the proudest things that I would have to say, is the relationships that we've built are just so solid, and we have a really good support system out there, and it's our entire community. So I would say that would be the proudest thing that we've accomplished. I think the public supports Ark Roofer because we give back. We do a lot of sponsorships. We help set up different events. We're a part of things. We're part of the Chamber of Commerce here in Georgetown, Texas, amongst a couple other cities. So we do a lot of giving back. A lot of the money that Ark Roofer makes, we put back into the company, where a lot of other companies, you can see the greed. They have the money, and all of a sudden they go and waste it all. They party, they go buy a boat, they go and do all this stuff, and they don't actually reinvest into their own company, into their own people. And I think that's what the main difference is with Ark Roofer, is a lot of the proceeds and the profits that Ark Roofer has gets put back into the people and the community in various ways. And I think the clients and the community can really see that. I think moving forward, we're getting more into commercial. So we do a lot of residential restoration from, hail damage claims prominently. We do live in an area where we do get a lot of crazy hail and some high winds and stuff like that. And so that's going to always be the case, I think. But tapping into the commercial sector as well is something that we started doing last year and are getting more heavily involved in, making a lot more relationships with business owners and stuff like that. So we're definitely getting into that industry as well, and trying to set the bar and set the standard there as well. And I see that happening very fast. Yeah, carrying on our processes that we have residentially, man, it's just gonna show the commercial clients that much more integrity and transparency. Some of the software and tools that we've created and that we use, man, it's pretty incredible to see the process of just day one inspecting a roof. I mean, the whole documentation process is pretty mind-blowing how detailed we not only get it on our side, but how detailed the client can actually see as well from, hundreds of documented photos that are organized by elevation and rooftop and components and problem areas and condition of roof areas and the good things about your roof, things that don't need any maintenance yet, but may need required inspections every couple years because we see it coming. There's so much depth and detail that just go into the first phase of doing a inspection on a property. And I think taking that into the commercial division is really going to expand that and just create a whole nother level of trust and security, and transparency, and just leading with that and being as professional as we can. I think setting the bar, being a professional in this industry and the commercial side of things is changing. It hasn't been like this for forever. It used to be the Wild West, and you never know who's going to get on your roof, and they just kind of do sloppy jobs. And I think really being professional and showing people how it should be done is really, really exciting, and we're excited to get that rolling and show people what it's all about. Yeah, so Georgetown, this is our core. I mean, this is where we've built great relationships with our community. We've given back a lot here as well, and the close surrounding areas like Leander, Cedar Park, Round Rock, um, places like that. But as we actually, expand, right now we're, work about a 1 hour radius all the way from Temple, Killeen, all the way down to San Marcos area almost, or South Austin. And I think as we travel outside of and keep expanding, I think going down to the New Braunfels, San Antonio area, from San Marcos to San Antonio, and possibly growing throughout the state to maintain that type of culture and that reputation. It's going to take a lot of work, but that's what we thrive in. We thrive in the challenge, and we thrive in being uncomfortable, so that we can actually hit our goals and know that our strategy will work. And so we're really excited to keep expanding and keep showing people that integrity and honesty and being a professional. You can find it. You can find it with Ark Roofer. Working on the inside of somebody's home almost all my life, um, realized that was a little bit harder to scale because you have to really be so fragile and sensitive to work with other people's schedules. And it's harder to streamline the inside work because you're having those hurdles of aligning with the homeowner and their schedule. And sometimes that can be a little complicated. So we decided to take things to the outside and basically develop a trade system of the envelope of a property or a home. And so doing the roof, not only that, we do siding and paint work, and gutter systems. And I think that those are the three main trades: roof, gutters, and paint, along with siding, that we're really, really good at. And I think we're gonna stick there and just develop those trades to be really, really good at, and excel at. And so that's really brought us a lot of other opportunity, that we've had a lot of great jobs on our portfolio to showcase these really amazing transformations on the outside of the house. Really, really caring to see the expression on a client's face after we're finished with a job, is one thing that really, really gets me excited and passionate about what we do here at Ark Roofer. We do roofs, gutters, painting, and siding work. And I think that being able to transform the outside of your house, pulling up to the house, seeing the curb appeal, transforming that into something completely different and a whole new look, a whole new way of protecting the house, even better than before, is really great thing to be excited about. And that's what I've always been excited, doing that on the inside of the house. And really getting homeowners really excited about the interior transformations, but being able to do that on the outside is something that we've seen incredible growth on, and just the excitement from homeowners seeing that as well has been something that we're very proud of. You know, what drives me, what's my fire, what's my why behind what makes me get up every day and be so hungry and so obsessed with doing what I do and empowering people to do what they do, and have that relationship with our community. You know, part of it is I've got a family. I've got a young family myself. I've got 2 daughters, 5 and 6 years old. I've got a stay-at-home mama wife, who likes to cut hair on the side, you know, family and friends, and she likes to take care of our family and support me as the leader of our house. And so that's a big responsibility for me. And I feel like it's never enough. I've always got to get up and I've always got to grow it. I've always got to be better, because I don't know when that day is going to come that it's, you know, I might hurt myself or I might not be around forever. And so I think that's one of my biggest fears is failure. And maybe we have a year where, you know, the economy changes or there's no hailstorms or something like that. And so I feel like I'm just so obsessed with being as successful as I can in this moment right now, that I just can't stop. It just drives me. It forces me to get up and just go 100% every single day. And I love being able to empower people and show them that there's also a way for them to have that same feeling of being successful themselves, and, you know, being a leader for their family and doing what it takes to be really have something really proud, have a legacy that your kids can look up to you one day for. And I think that that's probably my biggest why on what drives me every single day. So yeah, you know, I think initially it was for me. You know, I wanted to be successful. It was for my family. Of course, that's where the initial core of that drive comes from. But as I've helped to grow the company, and as I've empowered other people to help grow the company, I really have started seeing lives within our company be changed. I've had a couple of the guys' wives reach out to my wife and let them know that they really appreciate this opportunity. And within just a year and a half time, their whole family themselves, their lives have changed. Getting them out of a job that, you know, was decent money, but maybe it was just really stressful, and you know, they kind of hit their plateau, and coming to Ark Roofer and seeing how much more they thrive and how happier they are, and taking that home to their family. I think that's probably, speaking of proud moments, that's probably one of the proudest moments that I've ever had, is hearing that from an employee's spouse on how their family has been changed because of the opportunity with Ark Roofer. Man, I mean, that gets me right there. That's probably one of the most proudest moments, and what also continues to drive me today is seeing that in others, and helping others get what they want. I mean, yeah, my wife come home one day and she's like, you know, so-and-so's wife called me and we just had a moment and talk, and she just wanted to, you know, say thank your husband for giving my husband a job and an opportunity. And man, he was always stressed out, and, you know, we just didn't have the best relationship, and now we've got such a great relationship. He's so happy and he's full of energy, and you've changed our family life. And that's just like, holy cow, dude. Yeah, that's pretty tearjerker, emotional moment of, seeing how impactful the culture can impact somebody else's life. So, yeah, pretty cool.